विश्वं दर्पणदृश्यमाननगरी तुल्यन्निजान्तर्गतं पश्यन्नात्मनि मायया बहिरिवोद्भूतं यथा निद्रया यस्साक्षात् कुरुते प्रबोधसमये स्वात्मानमेवाद्वयं तस्मै श्रीगुरुमूर्तये नमः इदं श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये बीजस्यान्तरिवाङ्कुरो जगदिदं प्राङ्निर्विकल्पं पुनः मायाकल्पितदेशकालकलना वैचित्र्यचित्रीकृतं मायावीव विजृम्भयत्यविमः योगी वयस्वेच्छया तस्मै श्रीगुरुमूर्तये नमः इदं श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये तस्मै श्रीगुरुमूर्तये नमः इदं श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये। ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यङ्करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। ॐ पार्थाय प्रतिबोधितां भगवता नारायणेन स्वयं व्यासेन ग्रथितां पुराणमुनिना मध्ये महाभारतम् अद्वैतामृतवर्षिणीं भगवतीम् अष्टादशाध्यायिनीम् अम्ब त्वामनुसन्दधामि भगवद्गीते भवद्वेषिणीम्। यं ब्रह्मा वरुणेन्द्ररुद्रमरुतः स्तुन्वन्ति दिव्यैस्तवैः वेदैः साङ्गपदक्रमोपनिषदैः गायन्ति यं सामगाः। ध्यानावस्थिततद्गतेन मनसा पश्यन्ति यं योगिनः यस्यान्तं न विदुःसुरासुरगणाः। देवाय तस्मै नमः देवाय तस्मै। So we are discussing the 10th chapter, that is a Vibhuti Yoga, the glories of Ishvara. All this, ultimately one requires a connection with the Ishvara. That is the life of a devotee. That's the life of a seeker. Why? Why one has to connect to Ishvara? Because Ishvara is the goal of life. Ishvara is the goal of life. One has to discover that I am Ishvara, ultimately. You need identity with Ishvara. Then in your life, whatever the activities, etc., are there in which you definitely relate to Ishvara. Karma Yoga is also relating to Ishvara. Meditation also is relating to Ishvara. Even Jnanam also is a identity with the Ishvara. All three together is called devotion, bhakti. When bhakti is a composite of all disciplines actually. Yeah. So devotion, and of course in devotion what is there is a love for Ishvara. But along with the love, there is something else. There is a Shraddha. And there is a reverence. So your love along with the reverence and Shraddha becomes devotion. Love, and that kind of love is possible only for the higher principle. That's how we use word bhakti for the love to the higher principle. Desha bhakti, matru bhakti, pitru bhakti, etc. Same way, this also is a bhakti. Reverence will be there because principle is a higher principle. So between husband and wife, we don't never say, even though there is a love, we never say bhakti. Pati bhakti or something, patni bhakti. We never use this word. So bhakti word is used only for this. Anyway, and so this is the second phase now. Karma Yoga has been discussed in the 6 chapters very beautifully. And Bhagavan showed, karmanye vadikaraste mahaphaleshu samatvam yoga uchyate siddhya siddhyoho samo bhutva samatvam yoga uchyate, etc., etc. Yoga karmasu kaushalam. All this indicating, Bhagavan defined word yoga, well, in which you connect. Karma has a 2 aspect. One is a karma, one is a result of karma. And in both you connect, in both, while doing action you connect yourself to Ishvara, that becomes yoga. And while receiving the result of an action also, you see the hand of Ishvara again, comes from Ishvara, etc. So that's how one purifies one's mind. One becomes free from the hold of a certain emotional issues. Yeah, you are your emotions. That's, yeah, whatever the knowledge one has, whatever knowledge, whatever faculty, intellectual faculty you have, which is very well developed, well informed from the knowledge of scriptures, that doesn't come into play while you behave. When you behave, when any person relates to the world, that emotional being is all the time in front. And those emotional issues, basically, which is nothing but a manifestation of a ragadvesha alone, will always come into the front. And therefore, one has to make oneself free from the hold of this. That's called emotional maturity. When you are not under the hold of ragadvesha, you are mature. If I am under the hold of them, I am immature. Exactly like a child. Child is definitely under the hold of any emotion. It could be anger, it could be any other thing. So as you grow adult, you become mature, one has to become emotionally mature also. And for that, Ishvara definitely helps you. He's a psychiatrist. He can always help you. So this is a way, Karma Yoga. The second part is a upasana, meditation. Meditation on Ishvara, definitely meditation on the glories of Ishvara. That's how Bhagavan started describing the glories from the 7th chapter. 7th chapter describes it, 9th chapter describes it, 10th chapter is at a length, in detail. And so Bhagavan justifies because it's repetition actually. 7th chapter talks about some glories, 9th chapter talks about some glories, then why in 10th chapter again you are repeating? So Bhagavan justified that this is a topic to be understood. Any given topic, of knowledge, one definitely needs repetition. In a case of belief, you need not believe anything. In case of belief, you need not repeat, right? That there is a heaven, that there is a heaven, that there is a heaven. You feel this Swami has become crazy. But when knowledge requires a clarity, for gaining clarity, it has to be repeated. Therefore, Bhagavan says, I am repeating all this because ultimately it is going to help you. You don't know Ishvara. Bhagavan said in 7th chapter, I will give you the knowledge of my, I am in the form of this Ishvara who is with the attributes, without attributes, all knowledge I will give you. Jnana Vijnana Sahitam. Everything I will give you. Therefore, Bhagavan is giving knowledge, and therefore, it requires repetition. Knowledge of Ishvara one requires in order to meditate, and therefore it is repeated here. So Bhagavan justified initially. Then in this 17th, 18th verse, Arjuna requests Lord Krishna to reveal his glories. Katham vidyam aham yogin tvam sada parichintayan keshu keshu cha bhaveshu chintyosi bhagavan maya. Sada parichintayan, always contemplating. Well, how can katham aham vidyam? So how can I know your glories? Tvam aham tvam sada parichintayan katham vidyam. So always contemplating, how can I know your glory? Because all we see all around us is objects. To appreciate Ishvara, one definitely because of whom the object is object. Everything is ultimately because of object. Any object is an object because of Ishvara. And therefore one definitely requires, you are seeing an object, there is not a problem. But more than that, you project also something on that. In every transaction, one is not in touch with the object. One is in touch with one's own perception of the object. And that is our addition. And therefore, basically, one should see the thing as it is. That's how Puja Swami used to call it as an objectivity. In order to enjoy certain relaxation, object has to be seen as an object. And that is nothing but Ishvara. So you are in contact with the Ishvara, which gives you relaxation. So anyway, so here, what one basically physically perceive, more than that, what is required to know. And that's how Bhagavan describes all these glories, that you are relating to various objects, but you are also adding certain things on that because of your raga dvesha, favorable, unfavorable, like, dislike, this, that, etc. So, certain things are more valuable for you, certain things are less valuable to you. All that is here is me alone, and therefore more valuable, less valuable, etc. is your addition. Liking, disliking is your addition. Favorable, unfavorable is your addition. So, I am giving you the knowledge, see the things as it is. So, that is how you are able to meditate upon me. So, meditation upon Ishvara is basically meditation on the glories of Ishvara. Yeah. That one is going to say, I am in the form of Pratyagatma also. That is a contemplation. That's a most, most beautiful meditation. But other than that, in terms of world, in terms of objects. So Arjuna asked the Lord, Keshu Keshu cha bhaveshu chintya. What are the objects in which you are to be meditated upon? Many objects and beings are there in universe, but some, even though any form you can take and meditate upon, but some of the forms, some of the beings and things where Lord's glory is very manifest, and you can immediately take it as a Ishvara. And some of the objects, things are Bhagavan is going to discuss is between verse 19 to 39. Some of them he picks up from the Vedas and Puranas, so which we are not much familiar. We are familiar with the world. So certain worldly objects are looked upon as a glories, we can definitely say yes. But those objects or things which are described in the Puranas, etc., which are very glorious, we are not much familiar, but Bhagavan is incorporating those glories also here, along with the things. Like, Senani Nama Aham Skandaha. Well, I am Subramanya. Now it is not it's not a worldly glory. It is described in the Puranas, etc., or Veda, whatever. So certain objects by convention also is very glorious. Some people by their deeds, they become famous. Some certain things are by convention, are very, very famous, popular. So glory which made them popular is Ishvara. That's it. And they become a focus of meditation. So, O Lord, tell me all the glories in which you are specially manifest, where you can become the object of meditation. So, and I was talking to you about the objective value, etc. So the object has a certain intrinsic value. And more than that, I'm going to give you example. So every object has a certain intrinsic value. That only that object has, no other object. And over and above, you superimpose upon that object certain value from your side. Like let us take a gold, which is very easy to understand. Gold has a certain intrinsic value, intrinsic characteristic. Like it is malleable, it is very shiny in nature, it is free from any rust, corrosion. Even if you dip the plate of a gold in a acid for a length of time, nothing is going to happen. Yeah. It is free from rust, etc., corrosion, etc. All these are the properties of the object. Right? Now, that property belongs to gold only. You won't find anywhere else. Like, the shiny golden nature, etc., shiny yellow, that belongs to that. That's how we are able to recognize. Over and above, you superimpose a value. What is the value? Well, it has a certain monetary value. It's very valuable. Swamiji, gold is valuable. Gold is valuable. It's a human society has decided. Not that Bhagavan has said, oh, I am valuable there. No, we have superimposed. So meditation, when you do on Ishvara, well, you cannot, you cannot meditate on Ishvara with a certain your superimposition. So you have to remove that and see the value of an object as the glory of the object, because of which the object is object. Gold is gold because of a certain intrinsic its properties. Well, that is Ishvara. That's what Bhagavan wants to convey. So anyway, so all this, so its intrinsic value minus our projection is Ishvara's glory, right? Could you follow that? So it is the basis for Ishvara Dhyanam. And that is what Bhagavan is going to describe. this is, in this particular thing, I am like this. So that is all intrinsic value. And there is absolute value also. Everything is a manifestation of Brahman. That's an absolute value, because of which even the gold exists, right? And gold shines, etc. All that is because ultimately it is all Brahman. That's absolute value. But as an object, it has its intrinsic value. Bhagavan is describing glory in terms of those intrinsic values which you have to meditate and leave your superimposition valuable, etc. from that. That's what Bhagavan conveys. And in 18th verse also, he further, Arjuna says, Vistarena Atmano Yogam Vibhutim Cha Jana. We have already seen that, that's how I'm just reading. Vistarena Atmana Yogam Vibhutim Cha Janardana. Boyak Kataya Truptirhi Shunvato Nasti Me Mrutam. Well, so, Vistarena Atmana Yogam Vibhutim Cha. So, please describe your glories to me, the listener. Shunvataha. To me, the listener, please describe. Because the description is Description is a nectar for me, to my ears. Amrutam is basically something, is a thing which satisfies, which gives you certain joy, right? And therefore, Shankaracharya says Arjuna refers to the words of Krishna, who is describing this glory, as Amruta. And therefore he says, Shunvataha. Well, I'm listening to this, but I don't truptihi nasti. So, for me, there cannot be enough of it. Truptihi nasti means more I hear, more I want to hear from you. So he requested, please tell me in detail about your glories. So 17 and 18 both. And then Bhagavan started from 19th verse up to 39. He describes. So first we'll see 19 and 20 and then further we'll go. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Hantate Kathayishyami Divyāhyātma Vibhūtayah Pradhānyatah Kuru Shrestha Nastyanto Vistarasya Me Aham Atma Gudakesha Sarvabhutashayasthitah Ahamadishcha madhyancha Bhutanamanta evacha. Hanta. Hanta means our English wow, like that. Really. It's an expression for a wonder or joy. So when Bhagavan heard the Arjuna's request, please tell me, in detail all the glories of you, etc., and listening to that, I don't still feel a satisfaction, etc. More I listen, more I want to listen. Then Bhagavan said, Hanta, wow. And so he's very happy. Bhagavan is very happy that Arjuna has asked about this, requested about this. So, te kathayishyami, I will explain to you these heavenly glories. Divya hyatma vibhutaya, heavenly glories. And there is no end to my glories, they are endless. Nasti antaha, there is no end to it. Vistarasya me, because they are, Vistarasya means endless. My glories are endless. So, Shankaracharya explains that if Bhagavan starts describing his own glories, it is not possible for him to narrate even after 100 years, standing in this place, Kurukshetra. If he keeps on describing for 100 years, well, still it will not. As avatar, if he keeps on describing, no. For 100 years. Because how many things are there? My God. More I go around, even in this spring, more I see the beauty, the varieties of the flowers and varieties of the... Just I'm saying from the one standpoint and from other, so many things are there. Anyway, so Bhagavan says, Pradhanyata, He Kurusheshta. Well, I will tell you Pradhanyata. Means I will tell you, keeping with their importance, keeping with their predominance, I will describe few of them, not all. So first how should you ask for meditation, right? That you want to meditate on my glories. So I'm telling you, what? Meditate upon yourself. So because I am yourself. So aham atma, hey Gudakesha, etc. I am atma. So instead of glorifying Ishvara, just know yourself. For you that you are that Ishvara, and all the glories belong to you. All the glories belong to you, O Bhagavan. No. All glories belong to Atma. And therefore it's all your glories. So, aham Atma Gudakesha. And Gudakesha means one who has mastered the sleep. That's called Gudakayaha Ishaha Gudakesha. Gudaka means sleep. So one who has a master, Ishaha, one who has mastered the sleep. Well, that is not the correct thing, right? Because even if you won't get sleep proper or less sleep, person becomes crazy. So then mastering the sleep is not an inviting thing. So, but sleep indicates a predominance of tamoguna, and therefore he has mastered the sleep. Means he has mastered a tamoguna. Means he is a very alert person. That's it. He is a very alert person. That's what we have to think. Bhagavan is telling so many. I mean, he's addressing him with so many things. Bharata, Kurushrestha, and this Gudakesha, and so many other things also. Yeah, Mahabahu, etc. So anyway, and other meaning also is been given for Gudakesha. So Guda means a matted hair, or a thick hair. Kesha means, Guda means a matted or thick, and Kesha means a hair. So it seems that he was having a very curly and very thick hair. Arjuna himself was very handsome. But we should not talk about Lord, because the whole Bhagavan's body is directly from the Maya. I sometimes wonder, from the Maya 5 elements come. Out of those 5 elements, there will be a physical body or physical thing, let us say. Sometimes we feel that some people have a very beautiful body, or certain objects in the creation are very beautiful, which is made up of the elements which is made up of Maya, from the Maya. So if a Bhagavan takes a body directly from the Maya, what a beauty it should be. And therefore the description in Bhagavad, I don't take it as atishayokti. I mean, exaggeration. That Ishvara's body must have been very beautiful body. Anyway, so Arjuna asks Bhagavan as to which are the objects in which he is available for meditation. Bhagavan says, Aham Atma Gudakesha. I am the Atma, the self in you, the Arjuna. And so the Pratyagatma, so Pratyagatma, the inner self, which is never available for objectification. Pratyagatma means the inner self. Inner self means what? Inner indicates not available for objectification. Anything which is available for objectification, we say it is outer. So that way, the self, the consciousness is Pratyagatma, that is the self. Bhagavan says, you meditate upon that, you are that self, you are that Astipati Priyam, you are that Satchidananda, which pervades the entire creation, that is me or that is you, same thing. And other than that, name and form, of course, is just a upadi, where it manifests. So, since all glories belong to Bhagavan, and I am Bhagavan, I am Brahman, etc., so all glories of Bhagavan ultimately belong to Pratyagatma also. So, this is what Bhagavan says. And what is a Sarvabhuta Ashaya Sthitaha? Yeah. Sarvabhuta Ashaya Sthitaha means I am the one who obtains in the buddhi. Ashaya means a heart actually, means in the buddhi of all the beings. That's where I manifest. So, aham atma sarvabhutashaya sthitaha asmi. Aham sarvabhutashaya sthitaha atma asmi. Let's put that way. So, aham is a subject, right? And atma becomes a predicate, right? Aham atma. So, atma is a predicate in the sentence. And there is an adjective to the predicate. Sarvabhutashaya sthitaha atma. So, I am the very self, Pratyagatma, which manifests in the ashaya, means which manifests in the heart of every living being. As the very ego, as the very self, as the very sense of individuality appears. So Ishvara is predicated to Atma. Aham, Bhagavan says Aham. So that is Ishvara. Is it predicated to Atma? Means you, the Pratyagatma. So it is a Mahavakya. Bhagavan says Aham Atma. Could you follow? I am yourself. And therefore, I means Ishvara. And Atma means the one you yourself. So that's in Mahavakya. So subject is definitely predicated to this Atma. So the Mahavakya, people say there are Mahavakyas only 4. All these are Mahavakyas, nothing else. Sarva Bhutasha Sthita, very clear. In the heart of all the beings is I. That is me alone. And well, so if you want a primary form of a contemplation, well, etc., upon Ishvara, then contemplate on the Pratyagatma. So that's how Nididhyasanam is always has been shown as one of the limb to gain the clarity ultimately. So Atma Vare Drashtavya. Drashtavya means you should gain. Shravanam gives the knowledge, not a big thing, really speaking. But the clarity is something which gives you the fruit of the knowledge. Otherwise, there is no benefit. Benefit of the knowledge is when you gain clarity in the knowledge. That is possible through Nididhyasana. That's how Atma Vare Drashtavya. Atma is seen very like you are seeing this thing. So means shows indicating a clarity. Yajnavalkya says to Maitreyi, and so the first thing is Shravanam. That's true. One should gain knowledge. That's fine. And then Manana. Of course, it is fraught with the doubts that will go. Doubts will be resolved with the further study, nothing else. For doubts, what should be done, Swamiji? Further study. That's it. Then doubts go. Still, that clear knowledge has not been assimilated well, and therefore that clarity comes in Nididhyasana. So Bhagavan says, while the best form of meditation, Bhagavan is going to describe so many other glories, but say this is the best thing. I am yourself. Meditate like this. Shankaracharya ji also says, Nityam Dheyaha. It is to be meditated upon always. Bhagavan, Shankaracharya says here in Bhashyam. Anyway, so Bhagavan says this is one thing, and then in all other various objects, well, I am now, which I am going to narrate to you, I should be meditated upon. Aham Adihi Bhutanam. Goes further now. I am the efficient Adi. Adi means Karanam. Karanam comes means then both, efficient and material cause. I am the very efficient material cause of the creation. Means the one because of whom the creation happens. Without cause, creation cannot happen. So that I am the very cause of the creation. Both. Like you are the very cause of the creation. You are the efficient cause. You are the material for the dream world. Right? For dream world, you are the efficient cause. You are the maker. You are the material. Same way for this creation, I am maker and material both. That's called Adihi. Aham Adihi. Madhyam cha. Well, I am the sustaining cause. Sthiti Karanam of the beings. That's how everything is sustained as it is. Right? Everything. Starting from sun, moon, space, time, everything is sustained as it is. That's called sustaining cause. So he is a sustaining cause. Madhyamam. And I am Antaha, the cause into which everything resolves. So ultimately the whole creation of these names and forms come back to me. So that's a cause which is Upadana, indicating very clearly Upadana Karanam. Upadana Karanam is something from which things emerge and resolve also. So means this being so, any object is me and can be meditated upon as me alone. So, but I told you, any value which is very intrinsic in the manifest form, well, is me. Like sugar, in sugar cane. There is no sugar cane without sugar, right? Whatever amount. Sometimes say, Swamiji, this is not so sweet. That's fine. But sugar cane is said because there is some sugar, more or less. So, without sugar, you cannot think of sugar cane, right? So that is how it is. So I just gave you example of gold, but this another example also can be taken. And more than that, well, I love sugarcane. That's your value, personal value. So when you are meditating about sugarcane, remove that personal value. Personal value has to go. Oh, it's very, I love it, Swamiji. I just see it. There may be people who may not be loving sugarcane, I'm sure. So, yeah, but it has that sweetness which belongs to the sugarcane is intrinsic value. That is Ishvara. That is Ishvara. That's what Bhagavan says. Glories means this way we have to see. What is intrinsic, without which a given thing cannot be? That's what we have to relate to, and that then you are directly in touch with Ishvara. So this is how he says. So Ishvara is available for invocation in any object that has some glory. So you can invoke the glory of Ishvara in sugarcane also, in a gold also, anything. We are giving 2 examples. So anyway, so there are countless names and forms, all of which are available for meditation. But see how this is, how a glory of Ishvara is to be understood. While relating to the world, somewhere from you a ego in the form of admirer comes out. Well, at that time, you should think that it is Ishvara. Certainly, you see a rose. I just saw a rose while I was coming. Somebody has put in the hair. Oh, it was so beautiful. I just said also. She was there. I just said, oh, so beautiful rose. The admirer comes out. That's the glory of Ishvara. Anyway, now further. Adityanamaham Vishnu Jyotisham Ravinam Shuman Marichirmarutam Nakshatranamaham Shashi. So Bhagavan now starts with various objects, etc. And so first he, both will be there. As I told you, the glories which belong to the world also will be there. Glories which are described in the Puranas or Veda also will be there. Bhagavan mixes everything together. But we can understand very well that this is a thing which is not pertaining to the world. This is described somewhere else. So anyway, so first thing Bhagavan says about the Devatas in the heavenly world. Naturally, it's a description from the Shastra. And among the Devatas, the most popular are the Aditya Devatas. So there are 12 Adityas. So 12 Adityas, the heavenly Devatas, will be the 12 faces of the sun god. So the sun obtaining in the 12 months, even though sun is one sun, but the sun in every month is different. The sun in January is different from the sun in June, I'm sure. That much we can experience. So definitely, even though one sun is there, but in 12 months the sun appears differently. So we say there are 12 Adityas. So whatever the solar disk is there in a given month, that behind that there is an intelligent principle. Of course, solar disk, that sun, is functioning intelligently. Therefore, there must be a conscious being behind it. That intelligent functioning, the intelligent principle because of which the sun functions intelligently, that's a Devata. Same Ishvara, from the aspect of the solar disk, is called Devata. That's it. One consciousness ultimately pervades everything. And therefore, from the standpoint of the solar disk, we call the Ishvara, which is Samashti, we call that Ishvara as a Devata, Surya Devata, Aditya Devata. And so there are 12 Aditya Devatas, and these are why Bhagavan started with the Devatas? Because they are the most important principles because of which the whole universe is functioning. Devatas are the presiding officers, basically. It's a form of Ishvara alone, like you and me are also a form of Ishvara. Same with Devatas also. Jivas, but exalted. More punyas, etc. And they have been given a responsibility of maintaining the universe. And therefore sun and etc. All other things, Vayu and all. So Bhagavan starts with that, Dvadash Aditya. So out of that, Adityanam Aham Vishnu. There are more than Adityas, there are other things also which are also considered, which should be included in a principal Devatas, and they are the 11 Rudras, Ekadash Rudraha, and 8 Vasus. They are Devata, type of Devatas. In a heavenly world, varieties of, like even in our one earth, this earth, varieties of the people are there, right? There are people, Americans are different from Africans are different from our Asians. So like that. Same way in a heavenly world also there are various types of all Devatas, but they are of different types. And they will be given the facilities also depending upon their punyas. So, one will be given a 3 BHK house, and BHK, BHK, a 2 BHK house, and somebody will have a 24 hours water facility. My point is, so Devata means Punya, fine, but in that also there is a variation. Karma phala always varies, even if it is Punya. Yeah. Certain karmas give us more punya, certain karmas give us less punya. All this we experience. Sometimes we get a joy which is so ecstatic, means more punya. Sometimes we get a joy, but we gives us a little smile. That's it, not more than that. So our entire dream is based on very little punya or papam. Yeah, because any joy there in a dream world is very momentary. Or pain you experience is also momentary. Therefore, the karma phala which you experience in a dream world through the dream objects is very little. So it is possible. So even devatas are punya yonis, but there is a taratamyam, gradation is there. So 12 Adityas, 11 Rudras and 8 Vasus. Principal devatas here in the creation, which maintain the universe. These are 31. And 2 more we have to add. Indra and Prajapati will be 33. These 33 principal devatas are very, very popular. Those people who are related to karmakandas, doing yagas, etc., they know about this. And in any yaga, they invoke the devatas in various kalashas, etc. You will find sometimes this Ekadasha Rudra has been invoked. Sometimes the Vasus have been invoked. Sometimes Adityas have been invoked. And they all, basically, the main devatas who receive the oblations during rituals. So the people who are connected to the rituals, doing rituals, etc., they are well versed with these 33 devatas, main devatas. And in Upanishad, Brihadaranyaka Upanishad says that these 33 devatas, main devatas alone multiply themselves to become 33 crores. Yeah. So that is how in Upanishad, Brihadaranyaka Upanishad finally discussed this. So Bhagavan takes them as a first. After Atma is my glory, he starts with this. So among 12 Aditya Devata, I am Vishnu Devata. And why they are called Adityas? Because they are the son of Aditi. Kashyap Prajapati has 2 wives, Diti and Aditi. So those who are born from Aditi, they are called Aditya. Yeah. Like Sumitrayaha apatyam Saumitreya. Aditehe apatyam Aditya. So this is how it is. So this has been described like this. And among them Bhagavan says, I am Vishnu. Because Vishnu in a Vamana Avatara was born as a Aditi Putra. And as a Vamana, Bhagavan did a lot of things. So therefore I am Vamana Rupi Vishnu among Adityas, Bhagavan says. Anyway, then second, Jyotisham Ravi Ramshuman, among the luminaries. Jyotisham, among the luminaries, in the sky, consisting of stars and sun, etc., I am the sun god, most brilliant. So that's how Bhagavan says, Amshuman Ravihi. Amshu means a rays, Amshuman, which has a rays, very brilliant, powerful rays of light, sun has. So Bhagavan says, I am that. Jyotisham means among the luminaries. It's a Nirdharan Shashti. All Nirdharan Shashti has been used. Nirdharan Shashti. Saptami and Shashti both can be used for Nirdharan, to decide the best among something. So Jyotisham Ravi Ramshuman. And this is more described in Aditya Hridayam very well. There is a verse also, Rashmimantam Samudyantam Devasura Namaskrutam Pujayasva Vivaswantam Bhaskaram Bhuvaneshwaram. So sun god is very much adored in our tradition. In fact, in Sandhya Vandanam also 3 times, what sun does, generally it is 3 times, but nobody does. It's a morning and then Madhyana, Sandhya and etc. We invoke the Lord in the form of sun only there. Even scientifically also we know without sun, these planets cannot survive. The life will not be there. Therefore, sun is the most important principle, of course. And as I told you, in Aditya Hridayam, which is actually a part of a Valmiki Ramayana, in Yuddha Kanda, Valmiki gave, our Agastya Rishi gave taught rather. Agastya Rishi taught Rama this Aditya Hridayam, that you pray to Lord Aditya because you are going to fight, because, to Ravana, you should get the victory, etc. For that he taught to Rama. Anyway, so it's a very wonderful prayer for people who want a success in material world. So they pray Aditya, they invoke the grace of Lord Aditya. Even for getting money, for getting health. Yeah. That's how Surya Namaskar mantras are there, called Aruna Prashna. That is done on every Sunday. 130 Namaskaras, maybe. Even Gayatri Mantra appears in as a 50th mantra in that Aruna Prashna, Gayatri Mantra also. So people who want a health all the time, I have seen, especially some people who are doing in Chennai, I saw, every Sunday they do this Aruna Prashna with a Namaskara. Every mantra they chant, do Namaskara too. On the eastern, they face the eastern sky. Anyway, and I have seen the people doing, they want a success in a certain examination, they do Aditya Hridayam. Even people, our devotees of the cricket, they, in a one-day cricket, etc., even if some of our brahmacharis were doing in Coimbatore, because some cricket going on, we come to know, and it's a one-day match, etc., and there is a one-day World Cup final, etc., and India has come in the final now, and we want our India to get the World Cup. So people do, our brahmacharis were doing Aditya Hridayam. Anywhere you want a success, person does it. So spiritual journey and material, everywhere it is very much useful. Very wonderful prayer, Aditya Hridayam. So sun is glorified, in your tradition. And so Bhagavan says, I am that. Adityanam, Jyotisham Ravi Ramshuman. In all the luminaries, I am that. Means I am Pratyaksha Ishvara. Sun is very Pratyaksha. I am that. Means I am Pratyaksha Ishvara. So that is why whenever in our tradition, they say when the sun is rising, the Pratyaksha Ishvara is coming to bless us, at that time you should not be in a bed. People generally, they rise when the sun rises. So you should rise before the sun rises. Yeah, that's how they say. So early to bed and early to rise, and they say like that, makes a man healthy, wealthy, and something, and wise, something like that, I think. But nowadays it is not late to bed and late to rise. Anyway, so this is what an importance we have of this sun. Sun is not looked upon as a just solar disk. It's looked upon as a Ishvara, because Bhagavan himself said here, Jyotisham Ravihi Amshaman. Then Marichihi Marutamasmi, another group of devatas, known as Marut devatas. So, as I told you, there are different devatas in heavenly world, different colonies are there, different types of bodies are there, all devatas, but this devata especially, this Marut Ganas, they are 49. And they remain in group of 7 each. So, Sapta Sapta. And they are supposed to preside over one principle of the creation, and that is Vayu, air. And there are several types of Vayu. The Vayu, the air or the wind, which is there in the tornado is different from the hurricane, different from the storm. And sometimes it just breezes very, very coolly, very quiet, kind of breeze we call. So very quiet wind also is there. So there are several types of winds. All is functioning very intelligently, and therefore all a manifestation of same Ishvara in the form of devatas. So there are 49 Marut devatas. Bhagavan says among them, I am Marichi, who is basically means the tender, beautiful breeze. I am in the form of that. Means I am presiding deity of that kind of a wind, which is very pleasing to us. that we experience sometime even in these months, especially June and all, we experience such kind of so that it is a Marichi Devata. Bhagavan says, I am that. Out of the 49 presiding deities of the wind, I am that. Then Nakshatra-nam aham shasi. Now Nakshatra here will take it as a night luminaries. Among the night luminaries, I am the moon. And naturally, moon is a most pleasing, most beautiful, most brilliant in the night, most attractive. So I am in the form of this Chandra, etc. And that's how we worship Chandra Devata also very well. Especially, I think in Ashwin Masa, the Paurnami comes. That day even we offer payasam, etc. to the Chandra Devata, etc. I remember that particular Paurnami because of that payasam, really speaking. So, it is always connected. In Gujarati, they call Sharat Purnima. Yeah, Sharat Purnima. And that day is special something. Okay. Further. Vedanam samavedosmi. Devanam asmi vasavaha. Indriyanam manaschasmi. Bhutanam asmi chetana. So Vedanam Samavedaha Ahamasmi. So Vedas themselves are very sacred because it's a breath of Ishvara. In Brihadaranyaka Upanishad very beautifully said, Nishvasitam Yaha Vedaha, etc., etc. So it is directly connected to Ishvara because breath and person cannot be away from each other. So Bhagavan said, all the Vedas are my breath. So Vedas themselves are most sacred. And among them, all Vedas are glorious. Among these Vedas, the most glorious is Bhagavan. As per the Bhagavan says, Samaveda is the most glorious. So Samavedi will remember this shloka. Other 700 verses, no other verses, even if they don't. But this verse they will remember. Vedanam Samavedahasmi. Why it is so glorious? Well, because which is very musical in nature. Other Vedas are chanted with the 3 swaras, Udatta, Anudatta and Swarita. This has a Sapta swaras. Samaveda has a more swaras. They're very musical in nature, more attractive, if it is chanted properly, of course. That's how we don't jump into. We, in other Vedas like Rudram, etc., Purusha Suktam, we jump. Even we don't know even these 3 swaras also, we jump into that. But Samaveda nobody dares to do. Because there is a way of singing. Various types of sama are there. Various types of them. Various types of like our melodies are there. Same way. But I think that is the reason why Bhagavan says Samaveda is most glorious. So very beautiful to listen, etc. Then Devanamasmi Vasavaha. Now word Devaha has been used for both. Devaha word has been used for our Ishvara also. Eko Devaha, Sarva Bhuteshu Gudaha, etc. in Kathopanishad. So, Devaha is used for Ishvara also. Devaha is used for Devatas also, these Jivas also. They generally make a difference by capital G and small g. That's it. Capital G means Ishvara, God. And small God, small g, God. So that is a Deva. Anyway, but so they are Jivas basically. Devaha is a Ishvara, is Sarvagnya, Sarveshvara, etc. These Devatas have a power, of course, but limited, very much limited. They have their jurisdictions. In their jurisdiction, they can function, not otherwise. Yeah. And they are definitely, Devatas are Jivas, therefore they are born of a certain karma also. Karma, Punya karma. Therefore, they themselves they take themselves as a karta bhokta. That indicate they are ignorant people. Yeah, and that is the reason why Bhagavan said, Tetam bhuktva swargalokam vishalam kshine punne martyalokam vishadi. Because that yoni they have got it as due to punya. Once that karmaphala will be over, of course, very beautiful. They are born, as per the Shastra, they are born in that heavenly world directly as a young adult. There is no childhood and there is no old age. These are the 2 states which are very, very miserable states, right? More dependency. Old age dependency, child also dependency, young adult. And a young adult has a lot of capacity to enjoy also. And they enjoy the sensory objects not by contacting, really speaking, just by seeing them, they enjoy. And therefore, definitely it's a punya yoni, that is for sure. And once but that, karma phala, punya karma, etc. is over, they will return to Martya Loka. That is what it is. Therefore, here, and they are many in number. That Devaha, Ishvara is one alone. He alone manifests as this Devatas. So Devatas are many, like Jivas are many. And they have to gain knowledge. If they don't gain knowledge, they will come back. If they gain knowledge, they will not return. Yeah. Example, Kenopanishad. Kenopanishad, Devatas go one by one to know who is that Yaksha, Brahman. Yeah. Then all failed. Nobody came to know. Then Indra went. And then Yaksha disappeared. And then Uma appeared there. Brahmavidya appeared and told that Yaksha is Brahman, etc. So that Indra got definitely a knowledge of Brahman, etc. Then if you gain that knowledge, but Brahman is oneself, well, then you don't return here. You will be free from birth and death cycle. And of course, Indra also is a post. We know very well. He is also a post. It is not a name of a person. Whoever comes, very exalted being, comes there on that post, like our president or, whoever comes on that post of president has certain punyam, definitely punyam. Same way here, Indra is a post. So in all several cycles of creation, every time there will be a Prajapati, there will be Indra, and there all this thing, all presiding officers will have their post, they will be there. The particular Jiva comes on that post. So we all the time see one Indra. We feel that now after resolution of the cycle, given cycle also, again when a new cycle emerges, you find again Indra. A heavenly world also appears. So we feel the Indra is, one Indra alone appears. No, it's not like that. Indra is a post, definitely. So Devanam, well, when we talk about the superior Jivas, etc., well, I am Vasavaha, means I am Indra, etc., Indra Devata. Why Bhagavan says I am Indra? Because Indra is the controller of all the Devatas, and even though it is a Jiva, but still a controller for other Devatas, and therefore, Bhagavan says I am Indra among all the other Devatas. Then Indriyanam Aham Asmi Manaha, among all the sense organs, this is very simple. I am the mind. And why Krishna claims I am mind? Because every sense organ basically is capable of functioning because of every sense organ is capable of functioning only in one field, right? But mind is something which is capable of functioning in all the fields, in the field of colors and forms, in the field of sounds, in the field of touch, various objects of touch, various smells. Mind, of course, is required, without which that organ cannot function. And therefore, mind is superior to all other sense organs. So Bhagavan says, I am the mind among all sense organs. So if you want to invoke Lord in any one of your organ, the ideal symbol is mind. And that is how it has been invoked also in Taittiriya Upanishad. So it says, Saya Eshonta Hridaya Akashaha Tasmin Nayam Purusho Manomayaha Eshaha Anta Hridaya Akasha. In the heart there is a space like a thumb space is there, and that is a place where Ishvara is manifest. Brahman manifests there. And that is the place of buddhi, manifest in the buddhi. So tasmin ayam purushaha manomayaha. And that purusha appears there, manomayaha, in the form of the buddhi, enclosed in the buddhi as a jiva, etc. So that is to be meditated upon. This manomaya purushaha is Brahman, so etc. Manifest in the mind is Brahman. So one visualizes one's mind, and of course, one can see even the greatest manifestation of the Lord. Mind has a tremendous capacity. Now we know all this, that we are not utilizing the mind to the fullest extent. In fact, it keeps on decreasing. So that's how they say the people who are utilizing their mind, even in the old age, etc., like studying and other things, then their mind they will not have a disease of Alzheimer, etc., and you will be, even their memory can be sustained, etc. So mind is something very amazing instrument we have, and it molds to any given situation. Just Just, I am right now in a particular situation, and I may be put due to prarabdha in a different situation, which is just opposite to what I am in now. Well, mind adapts it to that. Then you start liking that. Then you come to this situation, you feel it is odd, which was very good earlier. So, a human mind is something very amazing. And that is a manifestation of Ishvara, one's own mind. So never hate our own mind. We generally do this. My mind is like this, my mind is like this. Bhagavan says it is me. So you are hating me, in fact. Then finally Bhagavan says, Bhutanam asmi chetana. In every living being, I am in the form of a life. Till today, scientists who have discovered all the things and they are in the process, these two things they have not yet understood. They remain mystery for them. One is life, other is death. These two things, you go and explore, any scientific journal, about these two things they are not clear. Life and death. So Bhutanam asmi chetana. Chetana means sentiency, life. Yeah. You know very well, consciousness alone, Brahman alone manifests in the mind, makes it conscious, then our organs become conscious, and prana becomes conscious, and the subtle body becomes fully conscious. In the physical body it is there, so physical body becomes conscious. So that's called life. Everything is functioning, becoming conscious, right? Pranas and everything, or the mind, or the organs of action, sense organs, all are functioning. That's a life. So definitely Bhutanam, among all these beings, in every living being, I am in the form of a Chetana, means sentiency, life, etc. And so precious also, very precious. Sometimes you find a certain insect, etc., so small. Even you are not able to see like that. But if they come with the backdrop of a white paper or something, you will be able to see. And you try to catch them because it is biting you, you will not be able to do. And you wonder that in such a tiny creature, there is a reproductive system, there are eyes, ears, there may be a digestive system, everything. And if our scientists, etc., they are not able to create even this small creature also. But when it is a question of violence, to kill them we are always ready. To make a life, to create a life is not in our hand. So our aim should be not to destroy the life, basically. That's how we prescribe vegetarianism, ultimately. Vegetarianism is because, destruction of a life is minimum. That's called vegetarianism. There also little violence is there, but not to the extent of the creature will die. Most of the vegetables we pluck from the so-called plants, etc. So you don't make them die, etc. And when you pluck those, even though we are taking away the limb of that, limb of a plant, but it doesn't do any kind of a opposition also. That shows that there is a self-consciousness is very, very less to the extent. Therefore, they don't have that kind of a fear. Or even if you go to the market and try to buy vegetables, you take the vegetables and try to cut it, it doesn't run away. Otherwise, on the road, you will find all the vegetables are running away from you. It doesn't happen. It doesn't happen that way. But any other creature, even the insect, etc., you try to kill them, they will try to run away. Therefore, you should not kill the creatures, basically. So, taking fruits or vegetables, etc., is very, I would not say totally free from violence, but it is alpahimsa. That's how we always give a meaning of ahimsa. It's not totally free from violence. It is alpahimsa. So, jivo jivasya bhojanam, ultimately one living being sustains oneself from the other living being, but this is how it should be. Anyway. So Bhagavan says, Bhutanam asmi chetana. I am the very life in all the beings, and so don't destroy the life. And then, verse 23 onwards, we'll see after half an hour. Om Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om.